Hello and welcome to another video. So I've got a bit of a message actually, something that happened to me this week, something really simple, which made me feel quite stupid when I got to the solution. But actually it served us a really valuable lesson in how sometimes we just overcomplicate things ourselves because we try to either control the things that are not controllable, or we try to take on too much. We're trying to do things that really isn't our responsibility to do when it comes to the Lord. Once we surrender something to Him, once we trust Him to help us with something, then that means exactly that. We leave it with Him. We manage ourselves in the way that, we keep looking to Him. We have time in Scripture. We have prayer time. We look after ourselves, so that we can function. But all of the other details we leave to Him. And, I recently got into a situation where I was almost like mission creeping in a way, just thinking, okay, well, I'm trying to do the right thing. And in trying to do the right thing or standing up for what's right, I was just doing more and more, taking more things on my own shoulders. And it ended up becoming overwhelming. And I feel that there are a lot of people out there currently who are facing a difficult season. You're in a storm and you are feeling overwhelmed, and you're feeling that no matter what you try, nothing seems to be moving, nothing seems to be shifting, there seems to be no solution. You know where the destination is, but you just don't seem to be able to get there, and it's all just becoming too much. Basically, my internet cut out while I was working, and I thought, oh no, I had stuff that I needed to do. So I took my laptop, I went into town, and I managed to get some things done. I got home that evening, still no internet. Next day, still no internet. So I got on the phone to the company and I was asking the guys if they know what's going on, to check the line and all of that kind of stuff. And they just said, well, there's nothing wrong on their side. And I thought, okay, well, that's a bit odd. I put the phone down and something just nudged me to say, just unplug it. Just unplug it. So I went over and unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it started working. So other than feeling really stupid, I thought, actually, this is where the lesson really lies, is that I've overcomplicated it. I've done all of these extra bits and pieces that I didn't need to do. And I wasted my own time. And I stressed myself out. When all I had to do was just unplug, was just do a reset, was just go back, to simplicity, which is just to walk with the Lord, just to focus on Him. So talking about storms, when Jesus asked the disciples to cross over the sea to the other side, they knew where their destination was, but then they were met with a storm along the way. And we know when Jesus walked in the water, he asked Peter to get out of the boat, and Peter was able to walk on the water until he became distracted by the storm. The storm is something he couldn't control, and that's when he started sinking. But equally, if we were in amongst the storm and we think about the destination, it also serves as a distraction, which takes our focus away from the Lord, because this is where the questions come in, like, well, how are we going to get there? Well, I've got to do this. I've got to get through this storm. I've got to get over that wave, and then slowly but surely, because we're trying to figure out how we're going to get to the end, we become distracted. We lose our focus and therefore become overwhelmed, and we'll also sink. All Peter had to do in that moment was literally just keep focusing on the Lord, just be still, and literally just focus on putting one step in front of another. That's all he had to do. So the same thing for us is in these moments is just get to the end of the day. Just simplify things. Leave the things that you can't control. Focus on yourself, keeping yourself healthy, active, fed, watered, that kind of stuff. Spend some time with the Lord, spend some time in Scripture, and just trust that He is who He says He is, and that He is the one that's going to control things. I mean, at the end of the day, He is the one that's going to handle stuff on your behalf. We know that that's what He wants to do. So ultimately, we're not in control of the storm, but He is. So leave the storm with Him. We're also not in control of the timing or the destination. And even if we know the destination, when we get there is up to Him, and how we get there is up to Him. So something else came to me, which was that, any fruit out of season is still not edible, whether it's early or late. And often, like myself included, I'm thinking, okay, well, it's something I'm doing for the kingdom, it's something I'm doing that's positive. So I end up thinking it has to happen now. But equally, the Lord said to me, well, no, that still has to come at the right time. Because if it's too early or too late, it still won't be what He wants it to be. It still won't be useful the way that He wants it to be useful. So just reset. don't take on too much. Don't try and force it. Don't try and push through it. Don't try and control the things that you can't control. You know, all that Peter had to manage in that moment was just himself and his focus. Maybe all he wants you to do right now is just to be still, just to focus on him, just to spend some time with him, just to get to know who he is, just to feel his peace and his grace in your life. Surrender means to leave it to him, so leave it to him. Thanks for watching. Please give it a like if it was useful, leave a comment, share with someone who could do with this message, and subscribe to be kept up to date with more content.